Greeting everyone. How are we all going today? I guess we have everyone. I can see Jida, I can see Norman, I can see Pardon, I can see Andrew, I can see Coach D. Is that correct? Can you all see and hear me?
Yes.
All right, good morning everybody and welcome. My name is Elbert Njuabe and you're welcome on the ACC African Coaches Connect Roundtable discussion. Today's topic, we are trying to look at match day 3 and 4 of the World Cup African qualifiers, and we're trying to bring our panelists from all across the globe, if we can, so we can dissect and talk about this critical needful on how to put our voice, our suggestions, comments on how African coaches can get better and African football can really thrive and be on that avatar towards sports excellence and brighter touchstone. Once again, I have my panelists. I have, we'll start with the lady. She's a UEFA, is a FIFA, CAF, and Liberian football instructor. He was captain of the Liberian national team. He's now the head coach of their U20. Truly an honor and pleasure. I appreciate you, ma'am, for such a short notice. You've turned up, and thank you so much for the social mileage your high quality gives. We are really honored and grateful. Thank you, ma'am. We have a great brother who has been in the struggle with us. He used to be my senior in the national team. He was the captain of Nigeria under 20 to the World Cup. He now coaches in Germany. We have Coach Andrew. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Equally, we have Coach Norman. He's a South African. He's the head coach of the University of Technology in Freetown in South Africa. He's been an ardent and very, very supportive ACC compliance. Particularly was there with us at the South Africa versus Rwanda game, and he was thrilling happy. South Africa were 3-1 at the end of the day. Thank you so much for joining us. I have a very hardworking, one of Africa's faithful and great, Joseph Kida Kiss, a good brother. I ran into him less than 3-4 days, and he's done so much leverage and acceptance, and he comes from a very, very highly respected Our Lady, the Sierra Leone Federation, Madam Aisha, who's been very, very supportive of ACC, and this is part of our extension that we have this. You are very welcome. Kida is a journalist. He's a journalist, a biochemist expert, and a sports consultant. And he's done so much in all those general phases in life. And equally, we expect to see and do more here. Thank you, sir. Finally, I have a brother, a great journalist in Mr. Pardon from Zimbabwe. Equally too, done a lot of work in sport journalism and reportage, and it's just a pleasure to have everybody here. I'm truly honored, delighted to share brackets with these great African brides and sons and daughters. My name again here is Elbert Njuabe. I am the servant of the African Coaches Connect, and truly blessed to be in this mix. African Coaches Connect is an umbrella body of the African coach. Wherever there's an African coach, African Coaches Connect will be there. And that tells you why we are in 104 countries and we are still growing. For some of us that didn't know, African Coaches Connect was able to conduct the first African International Coaches Convention alongside the AFCON in Abidjan, January. And come the 4th of July, we'll be opening and unveiling our countdown to the 2025 ACC convention in Casablanca, Morocco, alongside the ZIMBABWEAN. African Coaches here is here to talk about the welfare of coaches, to think how coaches can get better in medical, in legal advocacy, in all that is necessary, education, career path, and job listing. We are here to serve as a errand to all the federations and stakeholders. We are not in contestation or in competition with anyone or any federation, but we are here to be a helping hand to affect the critical mass of our coaches so African football can truly grow. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, on this note, we want to start. I strongly suggest if you are not speaking, you mute so we can hear each other. When you are about to speak, you can unmute and speak. We also the day 3 and the day 4 of the African qualifiers. I want to start with you, Coach Norman. You were with me at the scene there in Bloemfontein when South Africa started late, but were able to get the business of the day done by beating Rwanda. What's your take on the general preparation, starting from the coaching perspective, and finally onto the great delivery of those other aspects that actually bring the coach's job into forefront? You have the floor, sir.
Good evening for everybody. I'm Coach Norman from South Africa. I'm coaching at Central University of Technology in Bloemfontein in Free State Province. Actually, I was in a game against South Africa against Zimbabwe, not Rwanda. Rwanda was playing against Lesotho in the other province. According to my perspective upon the preparation of South Africa, I watched the game against them when they were playing against Nigeria, because the game of Nigeria, it was the preparation for the game for Zimbabwe, because Nigeria, it gave them a hard time because of they were playing at home. Remember, if Nigeria play against South Africa, it becomes a difficult a game where it's look like it's personally. Nigeria is supposed not to lose to South Africa, even whether they play home or away, they have to win the South African game by all costs. South Africa, they did well because South Africa under this new coach, Hugo Bruce, they started to play this tiki-taka style of play, which is been implemented by Sundowns, because a lot of players that are playing in the national team are from Sundowns team. Now they are using the formation, they are using the mentality, everything is for Sundowns. Now it becomes easy for South Africa to play that kind of football that they are playing. Everybody need to be comfortable on the ball, number one. Number two, everybody need to be on the run. Number three, when they lose the ball, they have to press where they lose the ball at, in that position. They need to press there. In that game of Nigeria, South Africa tried to absorb the pressure of Nigeria from the first whistle until Nigeria get frustrated in that game, and South Africa, they got a goal. And then immediately the second half, Nigeria came strongly using the individual brilliancy, because the goal was individual brilliancy to pass it through, and then the striker used his strength to turn on the defender, and then he hit the ball at the back of the net. It was individually as the way I saw it. Now, for the one was in here in South Africa of Zimbabwe. South Africa take the momentum that they were playing against Nigeria to put it in the same game of Zimbabwe. But even though the first goal of South Africa, it became a mistake from Zimbabwe defender, And the equalizer of Zimbabwe, it was the same mistake from the defender of South Africa.
No, man, thanks for that explicit analysis, and that was great. I will come to you now, Coach Andrew Uwe. You were one of those people considered to coach the national team of Nigeria, but it didn't drop on your lap. And I'm sure you're hearing the news going on now about what is happening, but this is not a day for us to talk about that. And finally, which a question I will come back to you, Coach Norman. African coaches is on the forefront. It is our tenet and pivotal clarion call that jobs flight, coaches jobs flight and outsourcing is totally not accepted. We strongly believe African coaches are very eminently and elaborately capable to coach their national teams. We have awesome and sterling examples with great coaches of African descent doing very, very well. If we back in our recent history, we saw what Stephen Keshi did for Nigeria. We saw what Mosefe is doing we saw what Walid did with Morocco. We have great coaches. We have even those outside the shores. We saw what Etienne is doing with the US under-20 team. We have great African coaches. Before you reply to the group stages of the World Cup, Andrew, I want you to please touch on why is it difficult for the leadership, the front offices of the African football federations to really and solely 100% trust on our deliverables as African coaches.
Thank you once again. Thank you for affording me the opportunity to be here today. It's an exciting moment for me. Basically, I'm into women's football, so I'm following the male football. But basically, I'm strictly women's football, so most of the time I love to talk about women's football.
Yeah, you can. Coaching is, we had one of our very top officials in the person of Coach Helen Lorraine Wokocha. He was the very first female to coach in the English League. He coached the men's team. So we have men coming to the female team. We have the national coach of the Bafana women team. We have great women like you, and this platform, coaches, is not a gender barrier. You can just tell us your perspective. If you want to stick with women football, that's fine. But how can we, as African coaches, beginning to do more to buy respect and to buy that necessary yardship of confidence from our front office for them to stop looking outside the borders to ship in foreign coaches to take our jobs?
Well, I think our federation needs to believe in we African coaches, because nobody do it better than African coaches. Our federation needs to believe in us as African coaches and empower us the same as they empower foreign coaches. Because when you come to our setting, they empower the foreign coaches more than the local coaches. So what we need is to believe in ourselves as coaches, and then our federation can believe in us, and I believe that we can deliver the same as the foreign coaches.
Thank you very much, man. Is Andrew Way back with us? I can see him, but I wonder what's keeping him. Well, I will come to you, Mr. Joseph Kidakis Kamara. You've been around the game, you've been around administration, you've done a lot of reportage, a lot of travel. You were with us there at the AFCON and covered higher games. On this same perspective, what do you think, coming from your main constituency, the sport writers and the journalism, what else in your own candid advice do you want to throw out there for coaches, or do you think coaches need to appraise themselves with, so that we can truly own into our own material of jobfulness and actually control and manage our space as African coaches to coach African countries?
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning to all. For us and in Sierra Leone, I believe one of the biggest challenge we are having is the coaches' education. I think this is also what is affecting Africa, the coaches' education. So when you have coaches and attaining higher and license, like the A license for us, we did our last A license down here in Sierra Leone, and recently we saw what is going on in terms of refresher courses, and also we the last time we had a female, the only female instructor in Sierra Leone, and Victoria, she was coaching in the men's league, as you were saying earlier on. She was coaching the men's Premier League. She's a female. She's a fifth CAF instructor, but she was in the men's league. That tells you when you have the capability, or you have the aptitude, the knowledge, you can coach in every facet. So, but also when you look at the federations, they are not giving this atmosphere to home coaches. They tend to give all the prerequisites or the facilities to foreign coach coming in. They will give them the big salaries, the big facilities, leaving the home coaches. So if you're not giving them jobs, how can they prove themselves? You're not giving them the national team. You prefer bringing in and local coach. Look for Sierra Leone. We brought in several foreign coaches like the Marquis, Olaf Martin, and a lot of them. They were here. And for over 26 years, they never qualified Sierra Leone to AFCON. But a local coach who played for Sierra Leone, and he came in from England. It was with the team, the Premier League team, FC Swansea, and he did well. And he was called upon to coach the national team, John Kingston. When he was in the national team, and he coached the national team, and he took the national team to the Nations Cup after 26 years as a home-based coach. What a foreign coach cannot do. So when you give them the opportunity for them to harness their true potential, they can do more. So I believe the federation should give them the opportunity. The federation needs to give them the opportunity to do their job, because we have wonderful African coaches now. Look at what the African coaches are doing around Africa with their teams, with their nations. These are home-based coaches. These are the home-based coaches. So what the federation needs to do, the federation needs to give them the platform, needs to give them the correct atmosphere for them. And also, when it comes to coaching, you need also the right infrastructure. You need the right infrastructure. Now, when you go to the Western world, the other parts of the world, what they have is the infrastructure. They have the training pitch. They have where you can go to train players. But when you come to Africa, we don't have those infrastructure. I think this is what the FA, they need to do. They need to bring in a lot of infrastructures. They need to focus on coaches' development and also help and giving them the right facility and the right job to do properly.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that analysis. Only is just, open up a big sore in me, because, I can't just relate why our federation will choose to pay this. I call them jobbers. I call them, before they arrive on our shores, they were rarely known. And we just palate and pamper them with all the necessary whatever they need, and pay them so humongous amount of money for them to come on as vacationists, and they have zero patriotic or passionate allegiance.
So them it's not about them. It's not about the nation winning. Them it's about how they make their money.
It's the money.
When you have, yes, but when you have your nationals, and they are thinking country first before the money. So for them, it's about the passion for their nation. If you have a home-based coach,
my brother,
can see the passion from them.
I have been in the same space with a lot of them. And after the game, I'm sitting there in the hotel room, you know, flattered and just so in pain. And you see they've switched on to the next item, probably talking to their people somewhere. And, you know, and especially a country like yours, that I don't know if it's been fixed now, that you don't even have the right facilities. If some of these monies can be saved to at least develop the infrastructure, develop the home goal. And at this point, I think we must give kudos and applause to one of our own, John Kester. He's an ACC accomplice, and he has done so much for the Sierra Leone national team. He was a teammate of my kid brother, George Abbey, in Manchester, Maxfield, and he's such a great, jolly good fellow. And we must congratulate him too for winning the National League with his club. That just goes to show the competence and capability of these African coaches if they are supported. And even let's say, you know, minimal of what they do with these foreign vacationists, jobbers that just come here only to make money and turn around and go. Thank you.
So for us, you mentioned about the infrastructure. Yes, that is true, because our national stadium is under renovation. So we had to play our own matches out of Sierra Leone. So we played our own matches in Morocco, again Djibouti, when we had the win, and also we played another match we played another match in Mali. But when you look at the infrastructure, we are now having this infrastructure thanks to Madam Aishi Wansin. Before she left as the FA president of the Sierra Leone Football Association, she started a particular project and which is developing pitches around, like 5 different pitches around, and which are now under construction. They are starting and they are already starting and using them. And also kudos to Babadi Kamara. This is a businessman. Also the team, the executive officer of Bo Rangers, is the chairman of Bo Rangers. They just won the Sierra Leone Premier League. He built an old and stadium on his own, an old stadium on his own, and this stadium is being used for Premier League matches and also some international matches, like the female and competition that was just held and in Sierra Leone. So kudos to Babadi Kamara for such a wonderful and stadium. And so if we have the infrastructures and the coaches can do well, our local coaches can do well if given the opportunity. But let me tell you, it's what I've noticed, they put so much premium on foreign coaches. Like they look, let's take for instance Sierra Leone. We had 2 teams, Premier League team. They brought in, even FC Wansin, they brought in a foreign coach. When that foreign coach came in, the team relegated to Division 1. But when they were having the likes of Kista and other home coaches with the team, they were doing well. But the sooner they brought in a foreign coach, the team started and underperformed.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. I really appreciate this. And my brother, if we really want to talk on some of these issues, it will take us the whole year round. Our prayer is just that the people concerned, the people at the EMSA, the people in the front office of our federation, should really be thinking African, should really be thinking national natives, should really be thinking what legacies and those things we can do to grow our football. All these foreign job men, all these foreign vacations have not really helped our national teams, our African continent. We need to believe in our own. We need to breathe. We need to grow. We need to support. We need to encourage our own. And even in some cases, when they fail, it's still a learning curve. I hope they are listening, and I hope they will take heed to this. Pardon. How are you, and how do you feel Zimbabwe not doing too good and sitting right there at the bottom of their group? They played 4 matches and they They stuck there in the bottom. What is your take with perspective to this particular topic and subject we have in hand?
Well, in Zimbabwe here, people have mixed feelings about how it went down. Mostly because people thought we were going to see a different performance that we had seen from the game that was played against Lesotho a couple of days before the South African match. What really happened is, if you have an understanding, or if you know what has been happening in Zimbabwe's football arena in the past couple of years, Zimbabwe has been banned from taking part in some of these international games by FIFA, owing to the government interference. That's what they said. They said it was owing to the issue of government intervening in football matters. So we got ourselves banned from the match for a couple of years. So the rebuilding exercise now, as we might want to call it, is not really going on as had been planned, because what I can say is it's taking a little bit, it's slow. That's what I can say. The rebuilding exercise has seen coaches being changed. We have seen Norman Mapeza taken the task of coaching when he played against Nigeria the other time. That was a couple of months back, maybe was it last year. This time you now have Jairus Tapera being an interim coach who was thrust on the hot seat by the interim board that they are calling the normalizing committee in Zimbabwe. So you see that the problems that are emanating from the pitch are not from the pitch per se, but they are from the in-house squabbles that have seen the normalizing committee coming on board to, usher in new coaching staff, bringing in players for camp who are not really, the other players that played in previous matches. So that discord that we see you have one coach today, you have the other tomorrow. The discord that we are seeing is that which is translating to the pitch, where we now see the game being played in an incoherent manner, where if you have foreign-based players coming in, they don't have much of much of the time to gel with other players. We don't have friendly matches. They come in maybe 2-3 days before flying out to go play. Like when they flew out to South Africa, let's say Lesotho first, they had just been in Zimbabwe for somewhat 3 days. So the problems that we have seen, seeing Zimbabwe losing 2-0 to Lesotho, losing 3-1 to Kenya in their last 5, drawing 1-1 against Nigeria, drawing 0-0 against Rwanda. We are not really seeing the Warriors that we know. Why? Because of the incoherent part, the incoherent system the team is made to go through when they are supposed to be seen gelling, to take time to be together playing football before they go out there to display it on an international platform. So the coach who is manning Zimbabwe right now, his name is Jairus Tapera, he is coaching a local side that's called Manica Diamond. It's far to the east of Zimbabwe there in Mutare. It's a city that's bordering Mozambique. He brought with him Godfrey. Godfrey was on the goals. Godfrey was his first match. It was his first cape for the Warriors. Godfrey did not quite perform when it came to the game against South Africa. You saw the schoolboy blunder he made when we conceded our first in the first couple of minutes. That kind of play is from a minnow. It's from somewhat a schoolboy. We don't expect that kind of play from a seasoned player who is on an international platform. You have the likes of Tawanda.
But pardon, if I may
Yes.
call you right here, you've touched on two things that has always bothered me. I am a coach, and Adele, I know you'll be hanging on. You will come in now after I told this at Adele, I told this at Pardon, and you come in because this goes to you. You're an Egyptian, and you've coached there in the USA, and you a consultant for a lot of great clubs, and you've been out there. This question is for both of you, and Adele, you will take the lead. I, as a coach, have always believed, and I'm so sorry if I will say this about my constituent and my commonality. I think I would rather gather an average players to work on than allow great players to just stroll into camp and prepare for matches, no matter what level. I believe in tutoring. I believe in preaching my philosophy, in my methodology, and even in those cases, how I want my team to play, when and how I want those things to happen. And that's very key. And I think that can always bridge the gap of having a united, well-oiled team than having great players with individualistic football. That is one. And the second one here is we talked about this international or foreign-based players' commitment to national duties. It's been argued in some quarters that they'll rather play safe and do those things not to jeopardize their performance when they go back to their foreign clubs. And because it's been argued, it's the foreign clubs that is their bread and butter that takes care of them. And even undocumented, informally, we've heard even clubs tell these players, when you go in, please be careful. Remember, we need you more here. Don't come back with injuries and stuff. And I wish Andrew were to come in on this last throw. When we played, I played for the national team too. And then we did have these issues of players playing abroad. And we have that locality, and we were so patriotic. And, I was discussing with one of our greats, to Natalia Ogedengbe and Samuel Bodu. And when we come, we used to play at the National Stadium. And when we come 5-10 kilometers to the stadium, the cops are all lined with Nigerians, are all lined with people that know our faces and know our family. And, it gives you that injection, that fuel, that tonic. We're not going to die, but we tell ourselves that we can only die once. And today, if it's the day we die winning, let's die. And, that mentality in some aspect, I covered and monitored a lot of these matches, and I don't really see that bright. I don't really see that nerve crackling, putting their body on the line, putting their soul on the table. Abdel, you will come with this, then Pardon will come after Andrew. Hopefully he's found his voice. And thank you, gentlemen.
I would like to say that modern football is all about business mostly, these days. So what I would like to say is we need to make our players that play outside in foreign clubs feel safe to play here, feel good about the environment, make them feel that they are really at their home, and I think they're going to fight and sell their souls for their country. Just give them space. I think if we believe in the young coaches, the young talents, I think if we support them, provide for them courses, provide for them knowledge that we have from outside as in foreign countries, if you can learn from outside and bring all of your knowledge to help your colleagues and your teammates or your players, even like if you share knowledge, that's something it's good. Nothing is going to take from you if you share knowledge with coaches here. If you have programs, if you did the study in Barcelona, if you have these courses and you can instruct people or the other coaches to how to do it, how to learn, or how to study this way. I think the certification that you're going to hang on the wall is not the achievement. The achievement is the knowledge here. If I teach you something new today, or every day you learn from this coach or this coach or this instructor here, if you share your knowledge with everyone, I think we're going to achieve more if we trust each other, make each other comfortable in the comfortable zone. I think everyone here is going to give us A+ every time when it comes to a true test. He's going to give you A+. About the players here, I think the players that you think they are medium, I think the programs here need more work, need more measurements, because I saw a lot of coaches watching videos on YouTube and bring it. Hey, let's go and do this. Let's go and do that. You need to build your program around your players, around your kids, measurements, make everything scientifically good, and the players are going to have them approach the level that you want. I think this is the best thing that we can do. I imagine if we everyone bring something to the table here, I think we're going to achieve what we want together. You know what I mean? And for everyone, if you would like to contact me through here, it's fine, guys. I will help. If I need any help, I will ask you guys on the group, or I will ask the main coach here, which I respect very much. If anyone would like to ask me any more questions, just please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Adele. I have
Thank you,
question. I have a question before we bring in Andrew Ware and Pardon. You coach in Los Angeles there, and you see the progression or trajectory. I coached 25 years in the US myself, and a lot of times, even when I was in the national team there, we went on a play tour to, was it Jamaica? We were on one field, and the Brazilians were coaching under 17 girls, were playing on another field. And I was trying to relate the skill level of the Brazilians, but I could see our organization. And one of the main things that made me personally jump into football in the US, and the people I understudied were not even soccer coaches. I understudied Bill Belichick, of the New England Patriots, a American football team, and Popovich of the San Antonio Sports basketball. And it's because of their decomputerization of the game. They coach defense, they coach attack, they coach special team, which you can call set pieces. And these are the various brackets in coaching soccer and football. So in your relation, and I'm so happy now you are back home in Egypt, you're on vacation from America.
Yes, sir.
Two things. What is your relationship? Because a lot of us coaches, when we come from the diaspora, our coaches back home see us as an imposter, and sometimes do not actually embrace us as one of them. And you just made mention of your hands are open, your doors are open for people to come and get some of this knowledge. How far and how well have you been able to spread this gospel? And again, since you are in Egypt, the seat of CAF, what more do we need to do, particularly if African Coaches Connect, for CAF to embrace us? So it can be that easy, just like when you and I want to apply for UEFA, we can do this on our telephone, on our desktop, on our laptop. But to get a CAF course is a lot tedious, is back-wrecking. So what are your answers or your suggestions to all of this?
I think if we have every 10 years, I think if we have every year 10 or 11 coaches go study outside, bring this knowledge back, and be instructors here in Africa, and we do like a big scientific place, or like a big center for the African coaches to instruct the young coaches and believe in their talents. If we collect a good data from each country, let's start with 10 countries, 20 countries. If we can fund 10 instructors every year, and we bring them to teach us what they learn from outside, I think this is a big opportunity for us to grow, all of us.
Thank you.
This is the best thing. And everyone works outside Africa. If we have any opportunity to bring something from the country that he's working in, that's fine. I think this is knowledge share. Everyone benefits from each other.
Yeah, Adele, a lot of us, like me, in spite of what would be the word, I wouldn't say it's rejection total, but we fight amongst ourselves as coaches, as African coaches. We tend to believe if an African coach doesn't fail, another African coach can't rise. How do we begin to tell ourselves that it's very possible for us to be a committee of support to ourselves? Because this is the same antics most federations and most people in the front office, administrators, used to break and divide us. So I'm still waiting for that, your answer. How has been the acceptability of your peers, of your contemporaries, people you were with in Egypt before you moved to America, to gather all this knowledge and this experience and to be what you are today, and now you are coming back to Cairo for vacation and to try and improve coaching? How is their relationship with you?
You talking about my relationship with the people here in Cairo, Egypt?
The coaches, yes.
Yeah, the coaches look, the coaches that I know here in Egypt is just like a couple of them, like 5, 6 of them. That's all what I know here in Egypt. I don't have a big stuff here in Egypt, but I have a big network. And this is that's different. You know,
Okay, this is an appeal to you while we've talked on this. You are a top official of Africa Coaches Connect. We are missionaries, and sometimes we don't have to wait for them to come to us. We must carry this gospel to them. So we will endeavor and we will appeal to you to do more outreach and read, because you got so much knowledge and experience, and we have to spread it. We have to spread it. I will come back to you. I think Andrew is ready. And he's asking you, I don't know if you got all the questions I threw at you.
I don't really, can you please repeat, please?
I was saying you were part of the coaches that we tipped that were probably going to take the Nigerian national team job. You applied, it didn't come to you. You now hear what is going on about Finidi, which we don't want to talk about now because, like I said, ACC frowns out outsourcing and job flights of our coaches. We feel African coaches should head, manage, and coach their national teams wherever they are. And I even think in some cases, we should manage them to succeed and give them adequate support and encouragement. We're talking about the World Cup qualifiers. What's your take, firstly, on the Super Eagles and your involvement to want to leave your comfort zone and see how you can help Nigerian football grow? And above all, what is your taking?
Exactly, okay, like I said, I think in December I was there, because I went to see the chairman and the minister, so I spoke to them, in terms of to come back and render my help, so, I spoke to them, did my best, whatever, that is it. In terms of this, our local coaches, like this guy from Egypt, what's his name, from Egypt, what you just said now, okay? Like we said to say, what our most problem in that, I would say, as a whole, Africa as a whole, is like when we are progressing, they're not going to be happy with you, instead of work together.
Who are the we?
Huh?
You said they are not going to be happy. Who are they that are not happy?
I mean the coaches. The coaches around. You see, the coaches. Because as you are saying them, until they're going to work together hand in hand, then things will be fine. I mean, for example, you saw what happened with Finidi or the game. I watched the game. You as a coach, you can only you're not going to see a lot of the view of the game. You're going to be on the sideline, so we are just seeing just a little bit of it. So your back staff or your assistant coach or coaches, so they're going to see more. And if you don't have a strong assistant that is competent, then it's going to be tough, because what is going on, you as a head coach, you are seeing something different. The assistant coach is seeing something different entirely, So if you don't have a strong one, to elaborate what is going on, then it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, until, like I said, it's always said truth is bitter, you know what I mean? So I don't want to go into details, So until we hand in hand to work as one team, then things will be fine. Things will be fine. You see look at what is going on here. When I first came to Germany, my teammate, my former teammate I played with, he was the coach of my team that fought the Oldenburg, the league at those days. We played together, so it was him as my roommate. When I came back from America, he's the one that said, Andrew, do you know what are you doing now? I said, I just want to start, come down to Germany, to just start my coaching license. So what he do? He brought me along. He said, no problem, you start with under 13, then we see how it works, So from there, he brought me in, then I'm taking my coaching lessons, classes, till, then I moved on, So that's the way it's supposed to be. But our own side is different, It's always when you come, I would say, when you come from outside, you're like a threat to them, which is it's not okay. I mean, for sure, football is advanced for now. Football is different. Football, the way it's played for 10, 20 years is different from now, So, and if you are not updated, in terms of everything that is going on about football, in terms of fitness, the tactics, the way you play, the way you study your opponent, the way you attack, the way you defend.
All right, thank you, Coach Andre. Thank you very much. While you were that, I equally want to give shout outs. We've been so fortunate to have people forbearance. In my own incident, I had the great Coach Chris Oyubio that told me, Eldred, you are cut out to be a coach. Come and get out here and be a coach. And Friday, that said, Eldred, he took me to his club and, just automatically left the club for me to run. And I said, hey, senior, where are you going? He said, man, you are good enough to go. And, Sam Okpodu, Coach Tunji, Fani Amu, you yourself, so we can go on. And that is why that's what birthed the African Coaches Connect. Because the critical mass are those grassroots coaches, like what you were doing with the Van Deza team when you came to Nigeria. And there's so many coaches right there in that bottom pyramid that just need our help. And like I just talked to Adele, we don't have to wait for them. It's a lot of sacrifice. And that's what African Coaches Connect is all about. We want to be there. We want to go there. We want to support. We want to give cushion. We want to give leverage. We want to be that ladder. We want African coaches to succeed. We want African football to grow. Quickly, on your take, what do you think of the Nigerian team coming second from bottom? What is the hopes? What do you think will be your suggestion, advice to the NFF, to the coach they are looking for, to even the Finidi? What would be your advice?
So, what? Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but I think, in my own opinion, I think Finidi, he should learn a lot, from what's happened now, because I think if you're taking him out now and bringing in the new, it's going to be kind of like starting from 0 point, So he knows what he's done wrong, and then I would say let him just finish up, what he signed for, instead of all the time changing and changing, So I'm sure, he just has to get people around, him who knows the knowledge, He's a very good friend that is qualified, so they can help him out. But I will let them. They need to just, keep him there, because taking him out, it's not gonna be of good to us,
Coming out to you, Coach Dean. In your days as a captain of the Liberian female national team, I'm sure you've gone through a lot of coaching. With you being sincere and critically honest, as a player, who is going to answer this? I will answer this. Would you rather play under a foreign coach or your native coach?
Firstly, I never had the ability to play with a foreign coach. It has been my local coaches through all. So for me, I would sincerely say I love to play with my local coaches because they understood or they understand us very well. They monitor us while we play in our different teams in the league. So they see everything that goes wrong, and they also believe in. Also for me, I would love to play with my local coaches. For things of representing my country or my local coaches because they gave me the opportunity. They showed me the way of playing soccer when I was at a teenage or 12 years coming up playing among the men. So my local coaches have been there from down the line. So for me, 100%, I believe in my local coaches. And I believe with time, with support, like for Liberia, local coaches are not giving the needed support, always the foreign coaches. The foreign coaches come to our country, they get all the needed support. But when it comes to the local coaches, There is no support. We are scrabbling, and because of the wild passion we have in football, that's why we are still there today. So for me, 100% my local coaches.
Awesome. Now, going back to the things you deal with as a national team coaches, which I'm not going to put you on the bus or put you on the spotlight since you still have a job and we want you to be there. How do you strike that balance about getting your job done and equally being a loyal employee to your employer, the federation, and above all, because you have to dance on three stages: as a coach to get results, as a good obedient employee of the federation, and above all, what the majority of Liberians want from you. Tell us how difficult this is, or how sweet or pleasant in your own.
Well, it has been a very difficult moment for me as a coach, and a coach that is just coming up. It has been a very difficult, but I take it as a challenge to prepare myself for higher. But on the national team is that we have a lot of experiences. But now, what we go through and what our people, what our employer want is a win. It's just a win when they look at no support, especially with our country. When it comes to women football in Liberia, there is no support coming from our country, our government. It's strictly our LFA that is putting time and support women football. So it has been a difficult thing. All our people want is to see win and win. So for us as coaches with passion, what we do is to motivate the guys against the world to get the best out of these guys. Uh, it's a lot going on. Like I'm on a platform that I cannot say all. I cannot say all, but it's a lot going on with our women football in Liberia, especially with the support issues. A lot is going on. So
Thank
with
you.
the
You
little
said
resources, with the little resources that we get, that's how we go out there and we get whatever results that come. Because football requires preparation, and that's one of the things that is lacking within Liberia. When we have a tournament, we have short time to prepare, and football it's not magic. You have to prepare well before the tournament. So within the short time, we have to prepare. We put the girls to go out there, and we go out there, and like we were at the tournament in region where we came there. We took a month. I took a month with the girls with my technical team. I went to the Waffle tournament. I never had a deputy coach. It was my first experience not having a deputy coach going to a Waffle tournament. And then I put it as a challenge for me going out there. And when I went there, looking at other countries that were top in football and seeing an inexperienced team, an inexperienced U20 team going out there to perform. And it was a great experience for my guys. In the group stage, we won our 3 games with 16 goals, and we came third in the tournament. So it was a great, and I think from that level, uh, our government and our FA is going to pour more money into women football because we have the talent, our guys have the talent. So I think they will have more support to women football and we can move forward because we are looking at the U17 and the U20 to be the future team of Liberia. So we're hoping that we get more support from that.
thank you, Coach Famata. Your bravery. There are a lot of coaches that would dare not come out, but you're so proud of your work. You're so proud of your federation. You're even wearing your badge, which I really appreciate.
Yes, I am.
Please keep doing us proud. ACC is truly and very proud. I'm so blessed
Thank
to
you.
have you as one
Thank
of
you so
us.
much.
I'm coming to you now, Joseph. You've covered a lot of great football matches, and from infrastructure to organization to the final product, the players being played. We've even seen the commercialization and industrialization of football, but particularly the East, West, and Central Africa. Every time I go to Morocco, I'm just awash with respect and all for what they've been able to do. Look at all the club size. They have more than 5 group care facilities, all kitted with shower rooms, locker room. I mean, it's so amazing while we see all these developments going on. Kida, what do you think it's missing? Why are we so very reluctant to do what is right and place our country on that high pedestal?
What is not and right is our government and or our Ministry of Sports in partnership with the football associations around Africa, they pay more attention to these international trips, like spending money and going for international games without developing. Let's say if you're going for qualifier, for us in Sierra Leone, we spend close to $1 million for these two qualifiers, just two concluded qualifier. Let's say if we can take those money if we can spend those money for infrastructural development. In 2014, I went to Morocco with our female team, our national and our female team. We went to Morocco for friendly matches. And then I got to a few of their stadiums or their academies. You can see different training facility in just one academy. You can see different facilities. So you give them opportunity to train. You give them the opportunity to play because they have the facility. So if our government could spend this money in facility rather than taking this money for national and assignment like going out to play or bringing in foreign coaches, spend this money on those foreign coaches who come in and give them a wonderful apartment or the nice 5-star hotel and beautiful cars with ACs in it. If we can use this money in developing, building the infrastructure, it could be a good one for us. And also bringing foreign players, bringing players playing out of our national league. It's also something that will spend a lot of money. Let's say if we can take our time to nurture this home-based player playing our domestic leagues, we spend less money than bringing in foreign players. You have to buy their flight tickets. They have to come in, give them big per diems, and then they cannot even gel with the idea of the coach. But if a coach has a home-based squad or maybe a home-based team bringing just few foreign-based players, believe me, we can see difference going out there in maybe the World Cup or in national tournament or continental tournaments. So what we need is the infrastructure.
But Joseph, sorry to interject. This is another question, that is begging. When you get an home-based player, you prepare them very well because they are home-based. As a coach, it's happened to me. And because you have ample and adequate time to work with them, it's awesome, it's great. And you develop them to that level, they are now good. You put them on the national team, and they now become a regular. Before you know it, they're now foreign-based. Because those opportunities will come, and they will now leave. And now you're now back to square one, dealing for their replacement to have that time. So in this vicious circle, I really cry and I hope our front office, the ministries, the federations, because if it's not only the structures, it's not only the infrastructures, the structures, the home league, the domestic league needs to be adequately funded so there could be good paydays for our local players or home-based players. So in Uzbekistan, in Albania, in all these countries, and you wonder what is in these countries that we cannot provide for our players and grow our African football. Continue. Sorry, I had to just throw that in.
Okay. So when you have players playing in league, these third tier leagues. They are third tier leagues. They are the bottom leagues. They are playing in Manisaspor, Jusisaspor. These names, or most of these leagues, these are foreign-based players that are coming in. They are playing from. They are third tier leagues. So if you put, you spend the money in developing our local leagues, our local leagues down here, you will have clubs of young players coming up, and this young player in turn will be professional player going to play in our top leagues, not these third tier leagues. If you want to bring in player, bring the players that are playing in the graded leagues, like playing the Premier Leagues, the Bundesliga, they're playing the La Liga. They are playing in their top flight leagues. So that will bring competition, but you cannot take a foreign-based player because he is a foreign-based player playing in a top tier league, and then you leave out the player playing in national league down here. So this is the biggest problem. So if you're spending this money on them, bring in these local players and then cut down the cost, use the remaining money for the infrastructure. You will have pitches, you will have and training grounds, you will have the facility, you will be able to set up the structures. So our country and authorities, our national authority like our ministry, our NSAs, and our federation, they need to bring out and foreign home-based players sponsoring the national league, the home league, like the Sierra Leone Premier League, sponsoring the leagues. When you have, look, let's go to South Africa. See the way I watch South Africa play, and they have this player, I think it's Mayera or Mayera, and he played well, and he played for Sundown. They have this player playing in their local leagues. When you look at this player, they are gelling well because they play together. They have been together for long. They play together. They understand the system. They understand and the ideology of how to go. But when you bring in this foreign-based player, they only came in, or they will come in for just 2 days. They will train for just 2 days and then jump into the pitch to play. But this team, this is why this team, South Africa, this new South African team is very difficult to play. Look at what they did with Nigeria, you understand? And look at what they did with Zambia. They are so prolific. They know how to play. They gel together because they have been together in one league. They play together even in one team. So bring in the home-based player, nurturing the home-based player, it will cut down the cost and you'll be able to have the infrastructures.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you so much. I'm now coming to you, Norman, Coach Norman, in South Africa. At this point, I really want to congratulate a tee off from where Joseph stopped. I think we really have to give to South Africa. They have over 14, 15 players playing on the home soil, on the domestic league. They have about 6 or 8 of same players coming from Melody Sundowns. And this is a good attestation. I think they play the most committed and then really like football in all of these World Cup qualifiers. It's a pity I couldn't get the coaching Gabe Fad to come at the last Nations Cup. I was marveled at what the Cape Verdeans came to show in terms of football. I've never seen, with all due respect, the average level of their player roster, but how they took the continent by storm. They play one of the most enterprising and attacking football I have seen on the African soil. And look at the way of their switch of play, their speed of play. It was really, really magnificent. And I really thank them. So, Coach Norman, tell us what South Africa has been able to do, to keep these players home in South Africa, to grow them, make them believe themselves, and make them believe in the South African principle to grow the South African football per se.
Do you hear me now?
Loud and clear, Krista.
All right. Yeah, Mr. President, actually, what is happening actually in South Africa is we have our local leagues here, which is our development structures in LFAs. And then what is happening, our leagues are too competitive, especially from the Division 2 that we call it ABC Motsepe. We've got Division 3 that we call it Hollywood League. We've got Division 1 that we call Motsepe Foundation League, which is so competitive because of the schools, and the clubs. Our development is growing so much that we can send players in overseas. Most of players, they can play in the PSL while they are still young. Now, most of the clubs, they've got this club licensing of developing their own players from the development structures. We do have the reserve league that is under 21, but teams like Sundowns, they opted to play the boys that is under 17 to under 19, which is a good thing, because they stay there in that reserve league almost 2 to 3 years or 4 years together. And then it's when Sundowns is able to get players from the development leagues, especially the boy called Mabena is playing in the first division. I mean, in the what you call the Premier League, the first team of Sundowns while he's still young. I think the boy is 18 years this year. Even he was playing in the national team under 17 in Algeria. He was in that team. Now the boy is playing in the first team of Sundowns while he's still young. Is how we develop our players here in South Africa. But most of the clubs that is playing the PSA, they don't have a proper development. But those who manage, like Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, Cape Town City, Cape Town Spurs, and Stellenbosch, they do have a proper development where you see the unknown players come from nowhere in South Africa. Now, is how they develop players because of the infrastructure that they have, especially in Joburg. We do have most of the infrastructure, good stadiums, good fields. In Cape Town, we do have good infrastructure. It's only where I am in Free State where we don't have a good infrastructures, because of we are using schools for the infrastructure. We are using club infrastructures like Swelele Park, like CUT, EOFs in the universities where we have infrastructure. But if you go deep in townships and in other places here in the Free State, we don't have a good infrastructure. It's the hard surface grounds. But through that, we managed to develop a lot of players from our province, and most of the players in PPSL that are playing in the PSL are from Free State. Like Tebogo Mokoena is from Free State. You see Neo Mayema is from Free State. The one who's Mvala is from Free State. A lot of players is from Free State. Even in Kaizer Chiefs, we have, in Orlando Pirates, we have Mabasa, is from Free State.
Coach Norman, I might have to interject you here.
Yes.
We have Branko from your Blue Fontaine there.
Yes.
I just sent a message that he needs us to ask you. What happened to Blue Fontaine Celtic? I can remember, was it 3-4 years ago? I brought a team, Rivers United, to play Blue Fontaine. You guys had all the facilities. You had wonderful guys in Kumlani, my brother, my dearest beloved brother, Chuma. And you had a good structure. Like Branko is asking here, what happened to Blue Fontaine Celtic? Thank you, Branko, for your questions.
Yes, you know what happened to Blue Fontaine Celtics? It's most of the clubs here is owned by someone is an owner. Remember, the club was owned by Dr. Molemela. When Dr. Molema gave away the club, he gave it to Jimmy Augusto. Now, after Jimmy Augusto, it becomes the club of Max. Max sold the team to David, to Royal AM. The team that called Royal AM now, it was Celtics before, Bloemfontein Celtics before. Now in Bloemfontein, we don't have any PSL club anymore now. We don't have any that club. Celtics was sold to Durban. Yes. Yes, Mr.
We're running out
President.
of time. I want to come to. Pardon, are you there with us? We
Yes, sure.
spent. Okay, quickly, I was asking you a question that Joseph readily attacked. Do you have add-ons to where Joseph talked about? You've been around, you've followed football around the continent and outside the continent, and in terms of organization, infrastructure, of commercialization, marketing, what is missing? Why it's Africa, particularly the West, Central, and East, need to do better to raise football in Africa?
Are you referring this to me?
To you. You do a lot of reportage and journalism around this, and you get to see it from the luxury of what we coaches can't, because every time a coach is tense, we are so swallowed and swamped with the emotion of the game. But you are just behind there, and you guys normally have your gallery where you sit and analyze it. So give me a breakdown of what you think can be done to improve African footballing.
To put it on the platform, on the grand stage, per se, I think African football associations, what they need to do, they need to invest in grassroots football, such that when we go out there, let's say we are at the grand stage, we will be having quality to talk about. We will be showcasing talent that's out of this world. You will see if we take a look at what happens maybe in South America. Quality of football is top notch compared to what we have here in Africa. If you look at the way Africans do it, they do not really invest much into football. If let me just give an example of what happens here in Zimbabwe. You will find that the sports ministry is amalgamated maybe with the Ministry of Culture. So you'll see that there is not seriousness per se when it comes to really coming up with something that's solid. Football is a multi-million-dollar industry, but we are not really investing much into it such that we can realize the millions that come with what other continents are realizing from it. You also alluded to the fact that the Arabs have started to, tap much into the industry, where they are now getting multi-millions also from the industry, as leagues are, being placed. They are being pitched where they are supposed to be, making a lot of money. But when it comes to Zimbabwe here, and Africa, as a whole, you see that South Africa, maybe a couple of other countries in West Africa, maybe Nigeria, and a whole lot of other nations like Egypt in the north and in their region there, a bit of seriousness is found in the Arab world. You have the Arab Cup that came to life a couple of years back. That seriousness we are seeing now on a global platform. But down here, especially in Southern Africa, we can only talk of South Africa as a representative, because we have competition there, like Norman has been alluding to. In South Africa, you have got competitive leagues. In Zimbabwe here, we
Thank
do
you,
not.
pardon. Pardon, can you hear me?
Yes, I
will
can.
use your name. I will say pardon, please pardon me. My
Yes.
producer has just designed. We are 5 short. I'll come back to you, Paco. But our leadership, Coach Dean, your 1 minute closing remarks.
I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity in my country. When someone see a prospect in you and bring it to the spotlight, you have to give the person credit. You have to appreciate them. There's this one person that he's late. He died in few months ago. So I want to use this medium to say, Mr. Henry Brown, technical director, I want to say thank you for going out there and seeing the prospect in me and bringing me to the spotlight and making me a mentor for women to coach in Liberia. I want to say thank you to the Liberia Football Association for affording me the opportunity, because they have been the ones supporting me and seeing me going further. To all Liberians, football is not just the men's war, it's also the women's war. So it's hard time that we have more women coming to coaching. A few years ago when I was playing, we had a lot of experience with the men that we could not open up because of that men and women stuff. But now today that we have women in, the girls can open up to us, the girls can tell us personal things. So we need more women coming back so the girls can be open to express themselves to them. So we can have it as a balanced level with men and women, not just the men, but we need to open it and make it the women's world as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Yes, we need women, we need more women. That was why I insisted. 2 women on this panelist board, but she called in late that she got engaged. Joseph, 1 minute. Rounding.
Okay. Okay, it's a pleasure for me to be here for the first time. I believe this is the start of many, and we're going to be shedding light on things affecting Africa, and most especially our coaches, and how we can rebrand or redirect African football. For me, I'm so delighted, honored to be here. And also, I want to say a special thanks to the new NSA boss, the NSA director, Dr. Emmanuel Safadulai. Is a visionary leader, somebody that believes to bring new ideas into football, into sports in general, but most especially football. And what he's doing presently is for him to set up the structure so football can go to the different peak, and also to the likes of the people spending their own money in building facility like Babadi, and the facility that they hosted the Wafu that the female coach from Liberia was talking about, and the chairman, thank you for having me, and then all the coaches. I say ladies first, okay. The Liberian national coach, thank you very much for your great job, Like I should say, you said, what men can do, women can do better, So just keep it up, okay? Good job there, right? Just keep it up. And for the rest colleague, thanks for having me. Thanks for coming down. And sure, we do the best to make things work for Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Norman. Coach Norman, 1 minute passing shot. Closing remark.
I want to thank ACC for having me today. I want to thank everybody, every coach that are involved in African football. Yeah, the most important thing is to join hands together to make Africa to grow in football. We have everything that we can take, because each and every continent is up there. Their football is up there because of Africa. Because we as Africans, we can make things happen. And we as Africans, one day will win World Cup through our unity. And we believe that God will take us there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wow. 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 Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate. That was great, yes. And that is our destination. The African coaches can play in the final of a World Cup and win it. African coaches can play in all the African coaches can be there coaching at the highest level. Club football, national football meets, all of it. And we can equally help the grassroots coaches to grow. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I come back to you now. Pardon. Your 1 minute passing shot.
I would like to say, I would like to say thank you for having me on the platform also. And I'm also thanking you for coming up with such an organization for coaches to, be affiliates, such that they can be getting insights on how to do this. It's not a walk in the park. Right? It's something that needs to be inculcated in coaches by platforms where coaches converge to talk about issues to do with effectiveness and everything that is entailed by the African Coaching Connector. I'm pretty happy that you've got this platform. It will really go a long way in seeing the African continent there. Maybe seeing one of the African teams winning the World Cup.
Yes, we've done it. We were at the podium stage. We played the semi-final match. That's a progression. Thanks to Walid, who is an ACC accomplice. We have great coaches. We have Emasife won the Nations Cup. There were a lot of foreign coaches there, but it triumphed. We have the Rume of Sundown doing wonderful work. We have Tise doing great work. We have Famata doing great job. We have Elise doing great job. We have, they are bound. We have great coaches. We have, with blessed memory, Stephen Keshi, talking about Nigeria now, with all the foreign coaches they've brought into the country. No foreign coach has been able to match what Stephen Keshi did for us. And even with that minimal or very skeletal support and encouragement, yes, African coaches are very capable. On this note, and just to make a clarification, my big brother Andrew referred to me as president or chairman. That is just a nomenclature. I am the servant of African coaches and of the continent and of mankind. And I am an errand boy. This is a passionate clarion mission for me, and I believe for all of us, and that we can do this. This narrative has to change. We have to hold the bull. We have to pull in our weight. We have to come together. We must disagree because we have our own individual logical and intelligence property not to agree. But there must be a destination, and that destination is to help African football grow. Thank you so much, everyone. I am really, really blessed, privileged, honored to be in the midst of great African prides and daughters and sons doing great jobs in the animal feed. I will just continue to beg you that we need to do more. Even though this platform is coming to a temporary close right now, there's so much we can do in our individual corners. And the ACC leadership and Elders Council, we are all here. We stay open 24 hours every day to see what we can do. So bring in your information, bring in your message, bring in your direction, so we continue to work and continue to grow. I want to thank you once again. I want to thank everyone, especially those people that are not here, like we've mentioned, Madam Aisha of Sierra Leone, Kamara of Liberia, all these great people. And thank you so much for the accolades, the Coach Dean, of those people that have helped you. And those we cannot remember, know that you are remembered, you are honored, and we are very, very grateful. And from me and from ACC, let's keep working. In ACC, we say united to get greater and to get better. I thank you all. We love you all, and God bless.
Amen.
Peace.
Thank you.